Hello, my friends. I'm Becky. This is the Empowered Indie Artist podcast and YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about 7 things that artists should be doing every day. And this is just for peace of mind, for continued progression. There's a lot of reasons. I do have a free giveaway today, and I'll talk a little bit more about what it is and why you should grab it. It's the link is in the description below, and what it is it's a priority worksheet and a schedule. So I'll talk more about what that's for. All right, number 1, mental health. Focus on your mental health in some way, whatever that looks like to you. If that means you need to wake up 30 minutes before everyone else in the house so that you can have some peace and quiet time, or if that means you put everyone to bed and you stay up 30 minutes after everyone's in bed, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you have your mental health as your number 1 priority. Maybe it's going to lunch with a friend at least one time a week, or making sure that you're having your gym time every day, which leads us to number 2, your physical health. Whether you are a gym rat or you are someone like me who's in the studio all day long, it really doesn't matter. Making your physical health a priority is one of those things that you don't really understand or appreciate the importance of until you start to get a little older, such as me. I'm 51, almost 52. And I've gone through various stages of physical fitness in my life, but what I've found out after this many years on the planet is that even though I'm not an athlete, I'm not physically what the world might judge as being physically in shape. If I'm not physically doing something several times a week, 4 to 5 days a week, then it impacts my mental health. And so those are kind of one and the same, if you ask me. Your mental health and your physical health, they belong together. They go hand in hand. Now, whatever your limitations are in life, just do your absolute best to make sure that you can prioritize your physical health. Actually, we can throw eating well into that. So if you are a musician on the road, it's very hard to eat healthy. Make sure that you're staying in tune with what your physical body needs so that you have the stamina, so that you have the longevity. The third thing, every single day, if you can just set aside 30 minutes to focus on building some type of skill that you're lacking right now. So it could be 30 minutes is on, I need to do some songwriting. I need to get better at brainstorming. I need to get better at my voice. And even if it's not, get better, improve, it's just a focus on making sure that you're keeping those skills sharp and intact. An example for me is I used to be able to read music as a pianist really well. I could sight read things, and over the years, I never read sheet music, hardly ever anymore. I used to do it all the time because, the internet was kind of a new thing, and I was a voice teacher, and so I was accompanying my students all the time, and so I just got really good at it. And as soon as YouTube came around and you could just type in the name of a song and there's the karaoke track for it, I became very lazy and we started doing it that way. Or the other thing is that as I started developing my ear, I was like, what are the chords? Oh, and I would just play whatever I wanted. It was way easier than trying to buy the sheet music, learn every single note. So I have become really good at making my own piano accompaniments instead of reading sheet music. So as I've noticed that skill going down, I've said, okay, I need to set aside a little time, at least once a week, just on making sure I can still read piano music. Because if I don't, in 10 more years, I'll probably be like, what are those notes again? I don't even remember. So, just like anything, you need to make sure that you're prioritizing the maintenance and skill building sets of all of the skills that you need as a singer, as an artist, as a songwriter. The number 4 thing you should be doing every day, social media engagement. I'm with you. I hate social media. We all hate social media, but this is where we find our fans and where we engage with our fans. And ultimately, we want them to come to our mailing list. But in the meantime, the way that we get people to join our mailing list is by sparking up conversations with them on social media. So be very strict, very firm about it. Set a timer even and say, okay, 30 minutes from this time to this time, I am going to comment on other people's comments. I'm going to follow certain hashtags and comment. Make sure that it's very purpose-driven and not just random scrolling. That's where we get into trouble with social media, is when we just kind of get sucked into the vortex of scrolling. So don't do that. Just have a very specific purpose. Set your timer. And if 30 minutes is too long, do 10 minutes. It really just needs to be a consistent amount of engagement that you do on social media. Number 5, create a weekly task list, and then as each day progresses, create a to-do list for each day. If you're not a planner person, you're not a to-do list person, this may not feel exciting to you, but for me, it's like my motivation. It's what keeps me going. If I can check things off my list, it makes me feel so fulfilled, which is crazy. It's just dumb. But I make my own checklists. I make my own to-do list. And the more that I can check, the better I feel about that success for that day. But at the same time, that forces you to be realistic about what you can actually accomplish that day. At the end of the week, I will create my to-do list for the entire next week. And then I'll break it down into days, starting with Monday. But that's the only day I do. I'll do, okay, on Monday, these are the things I need to get done. And then at the end of Monday, I will say, okay, Tuesday, this is the stuff I need to get done, looking back at what I absolutely need to accomplish during the week, and just try to make sure that it's all going to happen the best that I can. And again, being realistic with my schedule for that day. Some days I have too many sessions where I can't check anything off of that list. And so I just don't put anything on my to-do list for that day, where other days I have no sessions, and so I have all these things that I can accomplish. Just having this to-do list will help you stay on track for the day and for the week. And that leads us to number 6, which is just at the end of the day, make that assessment and create your new to-do list for the next day. Number 7, do a check to make sure your life is in balance. If something feels off, take some time, go on a drive, go on a walk, or while you're working out at the gym, just whatever it is, take some time to think about what might possibly be out of balance. And then see how you can figure out how to work around that, how to change things, how to make some shifts. Now, the giveaway that I'm linking to today is this priority worksheet and a schedule. And what it does is it's about listing all of the things in your life and then assigning it a priority. Your family might be priority number 1, but like I don't have any kids at home, so my husband there's only a few things that I feel are my responsibility, and that is like making sure that he has dinner when he comes home from work, because he works really hard all day long, and the last thing he wants to do is have to worry about what to feed himself. And so as a partner for him, I love to cook, so why not? I make sure that he has a good meal most nights. Not always. Sometimes I'm like, you're on your own tonight. There's leftovers in the fridge. So prioritizing what's really important for your family is probably going to be number 1. Now, if you're single and you don't have anyone depending on you, then great. You don't have any other responsibilities other than maybe you walk your neighbor's dog once a week or something like that. Or perhaps you just want to make sure you're prioritizing your music, your mental health, your gym time, all of that. So when you do the worksheet, you'll assign everything in your life a priority. And then you can create a weekly schedule and say, okay, Tuesdays at 2:30, that's like my only window of time where I can work on my music, skill building, whatever it is, even if it's just a few minutes one day a week or every day, whatever it is, you're making sure that you prioritize your life. Now, if you have figured out that maybe your life is out of balance, then you need to do this priority worksheet and see what are you putting more time into that you really don't need to, and what do you need to be spending more time on. I did this for years where I kind of convinced myself that my clients were more important than my mental health. I'm sure they'd be like, what were you thinking? They didn't ask me to prioritize them over my mental health, but I did it for a number of years where I was like, I never have time to go to the gym. And like I was saying before, that gym time, it's such an important part of me feeling whole and complete and setting my brain so that I can get my all of the things done that I need to get done that day. And what I was doing was kind of telling myself, well, I don't have that extra hour. I absolutely need that hour to work on this one thing for this one client, or they will have to wait, until tomorrow. It feels that way sometimes, especially as a freelancer or as an entrepreneur. You feel like how can you possibly take time to do the things that matter to you? But I'm telling you, if you don't, you will burn out. So I hope this was helpful to you. Be sure to grab that freebie, and I will see you next time.